And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break. Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. Our latest Pop Culture Cosmos has my good friend, Mr. Jeff Sloboda from the MCU's Bleeding Edge. He's going to try to justify to you why you might want to check out Craven the Hunter now that it's available on streaming. So go ahead and hear what he has to say. He also talks about Doom Prophecy. Joe Soros stops by to talk about with me as far as the sporting world returning to Los Angeles after not after, but because of the LA fires. Can the sports world lift up the community? Well, we've got some early results tonight on that, and we'll talk about that. But also, Josh Peterson also has his best of pop culture, so catch it today wherever you get your podcast. For 2024, he did put that as far as his thoughts on the pop culture world, indeed. But yes, also as well, Inside Sports Fantasy Football. We talked about the playoffs, so if you want to go ahead and check out what we thought on this past weekend's games, go ahead and check it out there, Inside Sports Fantasy Football. Magic Man is here. He was a great part of what we did right there on the terrible showing by the Lakers on playback.tv/ Lakers Fast Break. Want to give him, Danny, Joe, uh, Mark, aka Xbox. Yes, even Joe Soro. Want to give him a big shout out. They were part of our coverage today on playback.tv/ Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate you joining us once again. And want to give a big shout out to the Lakerholics crew on Lakerholics.com. Of course, Empire Jeff TV covering the Lakers and the Dodgers, Lakers in 5. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, also as well, of course, John McCalian channel. Our good friends, Stone Hansen, Alfred Esmond, and Legend 350. Please go ahead and support them on social media and YouTube. And also go ahead and make sure, speaking of YouTube, please like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Follow us if you're on Facebook or Twitch. It really does help us out, especially after a bummer game like this. Goes ahead and helps us grow the channel. And hopefully one day we can be as big as the big guys. And so there'll be all those small channels say, we want to be as big as the Lakers Fast Break podcast. And for members, I am going to be going ahead and adding an article in there very soon for Mark, aka Xbox. He's going to go ahead and post that today, but I wanted his final approval on it before I go ahead and do so. I did drop a video for my good friend Jeff Sloboda. So you want to see the video version, become a member today for just $2.99 a month. But if you want to go ahead and allocate your funds towards the great charities that are in need, I can't say I'll blame you. I can't say I wouldn't support you, because I do support you if you decide to go ahead and choose those options to support some great charities that are trying to help the victims of these tragic fires indeed. So please, if you can, go ahead and help them out today. I'm sure it will be greatly appreciated. Well, the Lakers came in tonight after a week off because of what's happened, because of those devastating fires, and the LA community sorely needed a lift by the Los Angeles Lakers coming in tonight. The USC Trojans, yesterday, they played their game, and they felt, in their comments by Juju Watkins and others, saying that they felt they needed to help lift up the community. And so they did their part by playing a spirited game and destroying Penn State. The Clippers, they came back tonight to the Intuit Dome, and they're saying the same things as far as some of the early quotes coming out of there, and how they felt they needed to go ahead and lift up the community. And they beat Miami today at the Intuit Dome. The Lakers, they had their opportunity against the San Antonio Spurs in the first half. That second quarter, after a struggling first quarter back and forth, the Lakers did pull out to as much as a double-digit lead on the Spurs. At halftime, was extended because the great Michael Cooper got his jersey retired and raised up into the rafters. The Lakers, though, after, I guess, well, like I said, a extended halftime, decided not to come out for halftime. They decided to not bring their energy. They decided not to bring their effort, and got totally outclassed. Their defense was absolutely abysmal. Turnovers left and right. Harrison Barnes exploited them on the offensive end for them and a defensive end for Max Christie and Austin Reeves, who got bullied by Harrison Barnes in the fourth quarter. And the third quarter was dominated by Stephen Castle, who took over in the third quarter to get the San Antonio Spurs off to a good start. And Victor Wembanyama throughout the game actually had a so-so game for him. 23 points, 8 rebounds. But the Lakers decided to not match that. And even though AD got a 30 points and 13 rebound game, it didn't have the impact that it needed to. LeBron James, despite shooting 7-11, 18 points, 7 turnovers for him. Austin Reeves, 4 of 14. Max Christie, 4 of 11. But those guys were toasted on the defensive end. And the bench could only muster a 7-point outburst from Gabe Vincent, who doubled his scoring average. But yes, the bench in the second half didn't provide as much. In fact, the whole team kind of faltered, to say the least, as they got outscored 73-40 in the second half, as the Lakers got destroyed 126-102. And the community was looking at them most of all as far as being able to bring up this community after a win, play hard, play effective. And unfortunately, that was not to be the case. And here today to discuss today's horrible game is a good man and a good man indeed. Two great guys are right now here. We want to see if Joe decides to grace us with his presence. But for now, first man up, first man here. He is the madman from Canada. He just got out of Toronto traffic to stop on by to watch this mess. This, of course, Magic Man, Sean Grice. And Magic Man, great to have you here. Yes, Juan, the Clippers, they showed up today. They came out for the community. USC came out for the community, and they played hard, and they played well yesterday. I cannot say the same for the Lakers, Magic Man, because they came out in that second half and laid a total egg.
We got obliterated in the fourth quarter, Gerald. It was
pretty either, my friend.
It wasn't, but I mean, we were still tied at the end of the third quarter. We squandered a lead, but I mean, at least you're still there. But yeah, you're right, Gerald. It started to slip away in that third quarter. The lazy sloppy passes, not finishing with two hands at the rim, deciding to lazily go into the lane instead of having a purpose. The only two guys who seemed willing to play on both sides was AD and Dalton Connect, and we know what Dalton can't do defensively right now, and that's all right. He's a rookie. I don't hold it against him, but those were the only two guys I saw that showed up defensively. Gerald, we're ranked 23rd in defensive rating. And with a roster with that kind of length and that kind of prowess and that kind of resume where you got AD, Cam Reddish, LeBron, you shouldn't be 23rd defensively. However, like Johnny pointed out, when LeBron's only giving you, 10% of his effort defensively, and you got Rui out there, and you got to rely on Dalton Connect, and Austin Reeves is getting just decimated by Harrison Barnes. And by the way, your head coach is supposed to make adjustments. Why weren't you making adjustments there, JJ? I'm curious. Kick 6'8" Harrison Barnes, back it down to 6'4" Austin Reeves. You think maybe you want to bring a double from different angles in order
or
to
Max
try
Christie. Six straight possessions in the fourth quarter. They went to Harrison Barnes, who either bullied Max Christie for a layup or bullied Austin Reeves for easy shots. And then on top of that, DFS finally came in to switch on him, and he got on him too. He got a shot on him too. So it was just absolutely embarrassing match, man.
It was Gerald, and Mitch Johnson clearly outcoached JJ Redick tonight because Mitch got whatever he wanted offensively in the second half, as Gerald pointed out, and just didn't seem like either JJ knew that they were stuck in mud after that long halftime. And by the way, congratulations to Coop on having his jersey retired. But as you said,
Absolutely.
Gerald, that seemed to be a fly in the ointment as far as the energy level and the focus and concentration. It seemed to wilt
Which I
rapidly.
think is a poor excuse because it didn't do it for San Antonio. What you know what it did,
Yeah, they
Sean?
had to wait too.
It gave Mitch Johnson much more time to plan a strategy for the second half of this game, and it really benefited San Antonio the way they came out. They came out with energy, focus, and like you said, they eradicated by the end of the third quarter the double digit lead the Lakers had, and absolutely took over that fourth quarter. And the thing was, Magic Man, the worst part about it, they in that fourth quarter they went to Harrison Barnes repeatedly because Wembyama was sitting on the bench getting rest.
That's a scary sight for the Western Conference, Gerald. If the Spurs are able to build leads with Wemby on the bench, oh my goodness gracious, watch out. Because this
Yep.
team might go a streaking pretty soon if this continues.
Once again, it is the Lakers fast break. It is the Magic Man Sean Grice along with me, Joe Glassford. Thanks so much again for listening. 126-102. The Lakers lose. They're now 20-17 on the season. I believe they've now down to seventh or eighth. Yes, seventh in the Western Conference, 11 and a half games out as of right now. This was a prime game that the Lakers could have gained traction on the third place team, the Memphis Grizzlies, who also lost tonight, but oh, well, maybe another day, the way that they're playing. But here today to go ahead and discuss tonight's embarrassing game. Good man indeed. You've got to go ahead and follow not one, but both of his great channels on YouTube. Go ahead and make sure you subscribe today to Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner. It is the mastermind behind both those channels, John Costa. John, good to have you here. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts on this debacle. What's up, Legend? Make sure you go ahead and check out Legend's channel as well. But John, just an embarrassment from start to finish. You were a great part of it on playback. In that second half, the Spurs came out to play and the Lakers didn't. And it's just that simple.
Yeah, no, this game can be described with one sentence. This game was a tale of two halves. The first half, I mean, I think Sean said it best. It's not that we got ridiculously outplayed. Like we were right in it. Where we got ridiculously outplayed was that fourth quarter. That fourth quarter, you guys, was some of the most atrocious basketball I've seen from the Lakers this season. I mean, we got outscored 37-13. And you know how many silly and just dumb turnovers that we had in that fourth quarter? I mean, man, that right there, we were in this game. I mean, Sean said it. We were tied coming into the fourth quarter. We lost by 24. What the fuck? Like, that's crazy to say, dude. Like, we were tied coming into the third and we lost by 24. And we had AD out there. We had Bron out there. Man, I mean, I want to get on JJ. I want to get on the players because, yeah, like what Sean said, you know, as a coach, you should, if Max Christie and AR are getting targeted 6 possessions in a row, you should probably think about bringing a double. But fuck that. Like, if I'm a player and I'm watching my teammate get cooked 3-4 possessions in a row, I'm like, switch that. You clearly can't guard that right now. Just switch that. Like,
LeBron is supposed to be stepping up and saying, you know what,
exactly.
I'm going to take Barnes.
Exactly,
you take
right?
Chris Paul.
And
but he wanted the night off by guarding Chris Paul.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I blame JJ, but I also blame the players, like especially the LeBrons and Anthony Davis. Like, bro, I do this at the fucking rec center. I do this at 24-hour fitness. Like, yo, if you're getting cooked by some guy, switch. You can't guard him. And LeBron, as the best player, like, you're supposed to be an extension of the coach. It was ridiculous, man. It was ridiculous. I mean, we could talk about whatever with this game. But if you want to know what happened, you want to know the game story, just watch the fourth quarter. Just watch the fourth quarter, and that's why we lost. That's literally why we lost.
Lack of effort, just absolutely poor coaching. I think that also, like you said, of course, like we talked about, LeBron or someone else could have stepped up and said, you know what, you guys are having trouble with Barnes. I'll take over. He's not going to go ahead and post up on LeBron if LeBron is in there, mentally because of just strength he has. And Magic Man, uh, why is LeBron only taking 11 shots in the first place? He's having a good night shooting 7-11, a 2 and 3 from 3. He just did. It's like he was just going through the motions tonight. And the problem is when he's giving the ball up to guys like Reddish, who missed a 1-footer and a 2-footer in the right when we need points to go, when we need them most, right when we need these points the most. They're just not being able to finish, not being able to make the right choices, the turnovers. But again, Sean, it's about what we saw in the fourth quarter. We just saw a team that just didn't care. And you cannot have the same excuses like JJ did coming out of the Dallas game, like say, oh yeah, they played tired, they're a little tired. You had a week off. I understand the tragedy. I understand what was happening with JJ's, home, and obviously he didn't have his mind 100% on what's going on with the game. But there's got to be other people in place to help him get this team focused on what they need to do to get the job done, Magic Man.
Yeah, Gerald, I agree. It can't. Well, I'm trying not to oversimplify things here, and we try not to do that either. So, great question, by the way. So instead of thinking in terms of why he wasn't aggressive, maybe the tweak to that is what made him so sure that he could play so passively against a team he knows that's dangerous and still think you could get away with it. Because we've seen this before with especially in this sport with great players. Usually what happens is you'll be down 12, 15 points in the fourth quarter, about 6-7 minutes left. You're a great player. You still think you have a chance to win the game. That being said, Father Time is undefeated, and AD and LeBron just can't come back 15 points down with 4 minutes left anymore, Gerald. There's just not enough gas in that tank to get you to run you through the tape. And my guess is, Gerald, and it's just an educated guess, and as Gerald said, it's not a built-in excuse. My guess is LeBron thought he could take the night off and get away with it, Gerald.
Also here today is a good man indeed. It is, of course, the man behind, of course, Ox1947 at LakersBall.com. He owns a great company, Simblades with Y.com. And right now, he is a investor in the fighting indie game of the year in Corrupt. Coreupt. Just want to mention again, I know there's an audience member who sent me a comment the other day, said he couldn't find the link. If you just go to Steam and you type in the letters Coreupt, you find it instantly. I've done it myself, so you can find it. It is Corrupt on Steam. It is Joe Soro. Joe, great to have you here. Miserable performance tonight. I know we go back and forth with our banter on playback, but I'm just going to tell you something that Robert Wheeler, who brings us always these great questions, he says maybe we shouldn't judge the team so harshly on a night like tonight. And normally I would say maybe you're right, but the Clippers against a better Miami team, or a team in Miami that has roughly the same record as San Antonio, you decide which one is better, Miami or San Antonio. They stepped up to the plate and got the victory. USC against a decent Penn State team yesterday, they could have called it in and mailed it in, but they wanted to go ahead and be motivated to try and win one for the city, and they did. They blew the doors off of Penn State. So what happened tonight at the Crypt?
created a disease that even the staunchest Laker fans don't really realize how badly it's infected them. The Lakers played like this before the fires. Did you watch the Dallas game?
Yep.
Now, the difference between tonight's game and the game then was the Lakers decided to maybe play a little bit in the first half, and then thought they could coast in the second half, and they got blitzed and beaten up to the point where it only further advances the fact that this team is as mentally focused and mentally strong as the shit that comes out of your ass. They are a disgrace. Their owner is a disgrace. Their general manager is a disgrace. And if you keep using excuses in life, especially if JJ Redick is too mentally incapable of handling his job because of what happened, he should take care of his family and his duties. Then don't come to the game. Anyone else affected? Unless I don't know, did any of the other players or assistant managers or ball boys or medical staff, did their houses burn down?
Not that I know of.
Not to my knowledge. I mean,
Okay.
relatives or other, family members might have had, as we've seen in reports, but nothing relating directly
These
to the
guys
players.
are pumpkins, and they were never coaches to begin with. See, at least in the Cinderella story, for a moment, they were a coach. Then it turns into a pumpkin at midnight. These guys have been pumpkins from the beginning. And in an 82-game season, sure, you maybe come out the gate a little bit hot, get a little rhythm, get a little confidence. But when it matters most, these guys fold like one-ply toilet paper with piss in it. And that's something I think you all need to start really making loud noises about. Not because I want to be in this horrible negative area. I've been in the negative area since the draft. I haven't really gotten out of it. We do a show here, so we're able to try to muster up something. I can't just come here and destroy every minute of the day, especially when they win a few games. You got to kind of go.
But we need to vent when you have toxic shit like what we saw tonight.
This is who they are. So Stephon Castle, by the way, folks, you all better, I don't know if you all don't know, but Stephon Castle is about to come.
Sean, you may have your answer on that rookie year that we were talking about.
About to arrive.
Whoa.
Sorry, he's arriving.
Yeah, well, we'll just edit that. We'll just edit that.
You got a dirty mind there.
Hold on. No, Mr. Hypocrite. What were you saying earlier when
I'm sorry. That one was crazy, Joe.
Remember you went earlier on playback?
What's with the well, you got something stuck in your throat?
Yes. No, it's you being a little bit of a hypocrite.
What the hell did I say?
Oh, that was funny.
What happened earlier? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Go on, Joe.
When Gerald said
keep
cock.
going. Keep going.
When Gerald said cock.
Keep going.
Stephon, I don't know. I don't remember things like that, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. Anyways.
Stephon Castle's on the rise.
He's on the rise.
He
kept them in this game when the Lakers could have extended this. But you could see the nonchalant and the laziness in their execution on defense.
LeBron didn't give a shit.
LeBron didn't care, and LeBron hasn't cared for what's likely for a while now.
3 years.
AD,
3 years.
You wasted an AD game where he wasn't missing on top of it.
30 points, 13 rebounds, 8 offensive rebounds, Joe.
The Lakers are now 9-6 in games where AD scores 30 or more.
That's Joe finish up.
Austin and
My
Connect and all the perimeter defenders that have struggled got exposed. They got exposed to the point where they looked like they hadn't even been in the NBA in a while. It was an embarrassment. An embarrassment that isn't really a surprise at this point. It's just not. There's just not enough It's not just talent. It's the mindset. It's the leadership. It's the, what are you doing here? Is it just stat padding at this point? Are you all just excited about, oh, this guy went 30, 12, and 8 in a game? Do you not know that that doesn't matter anymore? It used to matter because when you went 30, 12, and 8, you usually won those games. Now you have guys that are having triple doubles and getting waxed in the same game. You have guys getting 2 triple doubles in a game. How is that stat even relevant anymore? Really? So stats, if you're here for the stats, I guess I understand, but this team is finished. They make it to the play-in. Okay, great. We get a couple extra games, and maybe they get a 7 or 8 seed. Okay, then what? They're going to face Oklahoma City, maybe the Houston Rockets. What happens then? You're going to have Austin Reeves get basically turned into a turnstile. Dalton Knecht's probably not going to play that much in the playoffs because rookies usually don't if they're not able to play at least some kind of defense. And LeBron, as soon as things start going downhill, LeBron goes downhill with it. No fight, no pride, no leadership at all. A pathetic showing by a pathetic franchise that has lost its edge because the players that they employ are ballless. And that includes LeBron and AD. They have no initiative. And LeBron has won in his career because of his talent. That's how great he is in terms of talent. But in terms of leadership, in terms of looking at him and going, man, this guy really brought everything with this team. It's only been him. His performance in the 16 finals, 20 finals, whatever, that's him. That's him being that great of a player. But as far as him inspiring and as far as him leading, no. And that's probably cost him a few more titles. So, yeah, pretty abysmal showing. If you all want to make excuses for why and what and who, well, I feel sorry for you because you're going to go your whole life making more and more excuses on why shit like this doesn't go well for you. And I'm telling you guys right now, when you start programming your mind to that, you will be a loser in life. You will be a loser. Now, LeBron isn't a loser. AD is, no one in the NBA is a loser. They all succeeded in life. We're the losers for watching this trash. We are. We're the idiots watching this trash. But we have a show. You all like it. We're talking. So I guess it's not for naught. And that's my button on that.
Speak for yourself.
I'm not a fucking loser, John.
Joe, seriously.
I feel so motivated now. I feel so uplifted.
Think about it for a second. I had stuff delivered today that I could have.
You know what fucking time it is on the East Coast?
I don't care what time it is on the East Coast.
Yeah, you're about to.
You need to listen to what I'm saying.
You're about to.
I had stuff delivered tonight that I don't give a that I could have installed and been done with. Instead, I was watching Stephon Castle basically just absolutely obliterate anything and everything that the Lakers are doing while everybody was just doing this.
Give me the tracking ID. I'll go pick it up for you and dump it in the river.
And on that note, Magic Man, I'll hit you up.
Well, Gerald, he's calling us He's calling us losers here.
Well, it's like, tell him to look in the mirror.
Abraham, what are you talking about, Abraham? Come on,
anyways,
Abraham. I'm number one to be able to blame LeBron. I was literally the first thing I said. So don't come on here.
It's not really. I
might be.
I know it's not.
I'll go meet Joe halfway here. I'll call myself a sap for watching what I watched tonight, but definitely not a loser.
Look, it's not blaming LeBron, but it is a simple thing of like, as a leader on this team, as the OG on this team, if your youngin and AR and Max have been getting targeted for the last 6 possessions, you have to step up and say, youngin, switch that for these couple possessions so they can switch it up. And also just he didn't bring it. It's not all on LeBron. It's not all on LeBron, but I just want to address Abraham's point because I will not let no blasphemy go on because I get on LeBron when he needs to get on, but I give him his praise when he needs to be praised. So cut that shit out, Abraham.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly on that, John. Yes, you do. And once again, it is of course the Lakers fast break. The Lakers lose 126-102. They follow 7th place in the Western Conference. Magic Man, I got a good one coming up for you next, so be prepared. John, I wanted to ask you this in regards to what Robert Wheeler said earlier. Robert, I know you just popped another question in there in regards to our level of disappointment for tonight. I posted that out of scale 1 to 10. It's a 9 for me because of how important a win would be for this community. And they know the stakes, but they just came out flat, and there's no excuses for it in that second half. Let me go on to what Robert was saying earlier. Are we being too harsh on this team? Given, of course, the circumstances, given, of course, what has gone on and what the people of Southern California have had to deal with for, close to a week now.
No.
Again, the other 2 LA teams that have played, they showed up. They balled out, and they did it for LA. And the Lakers didn't. And the Lakers are the premier team along with the Dodgers in the LA area, and they decided not to show up today in that second half, and they should be vilified for it. Go ahead, John.
I'm gonna do my best impression of Joe right here. I'm gonna be honest with you guys.
Oh, here it comes.
What is that too hard pussy shit? Like what? Like I'm sorry, y'all. Like what is that, dog? Like what are you talking about? You being too hard? You fucking play basketball for a living, dog. You hoop for a living, dog. I don't want to hear no shit about me being too hard on you, bro. Like honestly, I'm in life, and this is like beyond just basketball. I'm a big believer of like, you wanna get better. Like you never want to make a mistake again. Like if you make a mistake, I'm a big believer of like, I'm gonna fucking drill you on this mistake. I'm gonna drill you. I'm gonna kill you on this mistake so that you feel so bad about your mistake. You feel so terrible about your mistake that you say, you know what? I never want to feel like this ever again. So I'm gonna do whatever it possibly takes to not put myself in this situation. And for the Lakers, I think that we drill them, but they put themselves in the same exact fucking situation. So I don't want to hear nothing about like, are we going too hard on these guys? Like, we need to go harder on these guys, dude. Like, we just got outscored 37-13, all because of lack of rotations, lack of just simple coaching techniques. Bro, turning the ball over. Stupid shit. I don't know, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't know. So maybe some other people, view it differently. Like I know, like my girl person, like she views it differently. She likes to, be coddled and, told, hey, like it'll be okay. You're gonna get better and stuff like that. And that's okay. Some people feel like that, but that's my girl. Like I'll treat her like that. I shouldn't be treated like that. This is the fucking NBA. I don't give a fuck how you want to hear it. I don't care. Don't listen to how I'm saying it. Listen to what I'm saying. That's one thing I say a lot. Don't be all in your panties because I cussed it a little bit or I got a little loud. Shut up. Listen to what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is you're playing terrible. So that's my Joe impression right there. Joe, was that good or not?
I like that little shut up. There you go. John, before I hand it over to Magic Man, your level of disappointment for tonight's game on a scale of 1 to 10.
Level of disappointment, 15. How do we go into the fourth quarter tied and lose by 24 to the Spurs? Again, the Spurs are a good team, so I take that back. I'm not trying to say disrespect them, but
they're a 500 team.
But you don't do that though. You don't go into the fourth quarter tied and then lose by 24 when you have the best player on the court. It's just simply put.
And Gerald,
go ahead. I was going to bring it to you.
No, appreciate that, Joe. Before you hit me up with the question, I just wanted to say although this is a somewhat of a novel experience for I think the 30-mile zone and parts of LA. The fact of the matter is, other big cities have had to deal with tragedies before. I mean, the Boston bombing happened, and both the Red Sox and Bruins, Gerald, came out like a bat out of hell when sports picked up in that city. We all remember the first game in New Orleans after Katrina. Steve Gleason blocks that kick, and it's almost as if New Orleans is born again. So there have been examples of cities that did inspire their fans with great performances in order to try and reach the emotional moment that seemed that sports and life crash into one another. And the Lakers have no excuses, Gerald. Like you said, LeBron had how many days off? The guys had how many days off? They were able to practice, Gerald. I'm not sure if anybody read that article, but apparently in the contracts of the NBA and its employees, which is the players, one practice is really held only when you're not playing on
They were
non-consecutive
still going to
days.
El Segundo and practicing at the
Yeah,
recently opened.
they were still practicing, so there's no excuse. And now I'll be happy to field that question.
Your level of disappointment, real quick, from 1 to 10.
10.
I
10.
put a 9 for me, but I think I like the 15 answer the best, to be honest with you, Magic Man. But one last thing before I send over to Joe. Your thoughts as our Lakers historian, along with Joe, on Michael Cooper getting his jersey retired tonight. I wanted to put at least a little good spin on this before we hit it back up and go back down the spiral once again.
Thank you, Gerald. Very nice. Long overdue. Long overdue, but well deserved, and I'm glad it was finally done. At least, and especially so his kids can see, that was really special. Um Coop, look, Gerald, uh, people can say what they want. There's four great shooting guards of the 1980s, and he's one of them. Drexler, Jordan, Michael Cooper, George Gervin. That's the list of the best shooting guards from the 1980s. Now they all had different attributes, different skills. I would say Coop and Jordan are the best defenders out of that bunch. And Coop won a Defensive Player of the Year award, Gerald. He was a multiple All-Star. He was the ultimate team guy. Do whatever you need me to do. Need me to guard Larry Bird? Sure, I'll guard Larry Bird. I'll listen to that twangy Southerner call me an MFer. Okay, launch me into the ninth row. Sure. I love Coop. Coop's probably I think we did a top 10 Lakers list, Gerald. Coop was in my top 10. He always will be. I just think he should have been in a long time ago. And it's the Hall of Fame, I mean. I'm not talking about having his jersey retired. That's strictly a Lakers decision. But I'm glad he's in the Hall of Fame, and I'm glad the Lakers did right by him by retiring his number. It's only right. To me, he's the okay. To me, he's the third greatest shooting guard of the Lakers after Kobe and Jerry, and he's got the rings to prove it and the individual awards. He was part of the greatest dynasty that basketball's ever seen in the 20th century. And he was the only guy from that group who hadn't been recognized and validated by getting into the Hall of Fame and having his jersey retired. Now it all comes full circle. Everybody from Showtime that deserves to have their number in the rafters has their number in the rafters. And that's only right.
Once again, it is the Lakers losing 126 to 102. They fall to 7th place in the Western Conference. Before we left our feed, as far as the game is concerned, on the Lakers Fast Break channel on playback and then also YouTube, Humble Servant put the last quote on there, Joe. And he said this team is destined and playing like a 9th place team. At the beginning of the season, in our season predictions, I predicted them to be 9th place. You predicted them 11th. Stone predicted 11th. John, you had them, what, 8th or 10th? Something like that?
Yeah, I had them 8th.
Magic Man, you had them 8th, 9th, I think, something like that, Magic Man?
9th, yeah.
Yeah, so we did not think of this team as, with all the surrounding things, the parts around LeBron AD, to be able to get this team where it needs to be. So with the games that you've seen the past couple of weeks, it's looking more and more like our predictions are looking spot on. And unfortunately, that does not mean a good year for Lakers fans.
And worse is I don't like anybody, really. I don't like these players are not easy to root for.
And we did, conversely, we all would have loved to have been wrong. We all want to be wrong.
Out the gut, yeah. Well, we're not wrong, so it doesn't matter anymore.
That's the problem.
There's just this, like, Connect a little bit at the beginning, kind of showed something that's very likable. But other than that, this is a very hard team to cheer for. They're just there. They're just blah. I don't see anything where you're going game in and game out where you have respect for them. I just don't. They don't have it. They're. Check out John's other channel, not about manual transmissions.
Clutch talk.
All right. Don't even know how to manual, but all right.
Guabina, there's not going to be any olives this year for you all.
Yeah.
I was pretty confident that wasn't going to happen anyways. It's just
yeah.
You guys want to talk, and I'll just sit here?
No, I was just going to say, I was going to add on something for you, Joe, from Robert Wheeler. So
go ahead. Put up Robert's stuff on there.
I apologize again, Joe. I agree, Joe, the Lakers should be graded harsh. But no, I interrupted him. So
I have to say, Joe's gum chewing is a lot more annoying than my typing.
But I mean, the guy was in tears at the press conference before the game. 20 plus years of his house items burned. I agree that, Joe, the Lakers should be graded harsh, but just not specifically tonight and mainly JJ.
No, nope. Sorry, Robert. Can't go with that. They were chumps before the fire, and they're chumps even more now because they know they can use that as an excuse. I know that psychology bullshit. You ain't going to trick me. Sorry. Ain't going to happen. And no, I'm not going to be sensitive to it. Sorry. Unless it's JJ. JJ actually had something really bad happen to him. If he can't do his job, he needs to take the time off and let somebody else do the job until he's fully ready to do what he needs to do. And if he's not going to be able to do anything the rest of the year, then let him take the year off. And let Nate McMillan coach or Scotty Brooks. And that's it, folks. I'm sorry. I'm not doing this. I'm not going to keep making excuses.
Mike?
JJ, you go into halftime up 9. What did you see shift in the second half?
Yeah, they called a timeout. We were up 10, tied going into the fourth. You can point to the 13 points in the fourth quarter, but it was just, we gave.
Yeah. Go ahead, Magic Man.
Yeah. So when you see somebody who's talking like that, you can tell the level of frustration the higher you go up on your face. Yeah, so you know what? We were up by 9, 10, and then the fourth quarter came around and they called a timeout, and
yeah.
So
you
Joe,
do one of these right here?
He's going through it right now, Joe, because I think he's mentally exhausted trying to figure out how to stall the horror show that is this perimeter defense. Dorian Finney-Smith hasn't fixed shit, Gerald.
Yeah, I saw that. That's for sure tonight. But Joe, let me bring it back to you again. I don't want to make. I want to make sure that you are not interrupted, so that you can finish out what you had to say. Again, you're not agreeing with Robert Wheeler on how he should not be held accountable for tonight, Joe.
Who, JJ Redick?
Yeah.
No, but I think he should go take care of his stuff. If it is affecting him, which I don't think it was really affecting him. I think the team was at an all-time high this year, believe it or not, of being inept.
Okay.
It's just a dead team. It's a lifeless, leaderless team. Before and after. And they're going to use it as an excuse because they're an excuse machine. And it's not really just the Lakers. I think it's just harder for the Lakers because they're this iconic franchise and they've always won and they've always gotten the best players. But this is whatever this is. I don't ever really remember watching a team, even the 05, 06, 07 Lakers. You still had Kobe there who was determined to win. You had LO who was a good player. And they were trying their best. Even Smush Parker, which I've actually stuck up for Smush even during his rift with Kobe. I said I think Kobe did something wrong with that guy. He didn't have to do what he did with that guy. There was something off with him. I think he should have done a better job communicating with him. Not in the sense of the basketball side, but more of why did this happen?
Mm-hmm.
You like that, Mike?
No, I was disagreeing with you.
I know that's why I shut your ass down.
So you're saying Kobe was okay when it concerns his treatment of Smush Parker, and Joe's saying that he was a little bit too harsh on Smush Parker, or there should have been a better line of communication.
When you listen to Smush discuss the situation, it's a little obnoxious. It's obnoxious what Kobe was doing to him.
Joe, do you remember what the last thing Kobe ever said to Smush Parker was?
Don't speak to me.
Oh, he didn't say that. He that was only half of what he said. You have you have to accomplish more if you want to be able to speak with me. Look, man, I think I think that whole situation is kind of overblown and oversimplified. I think it comes down to something really quite simple. It's funny how when Kobe texted Powell and Caron Butler at like 2 or 3 in the morning to come work out with him at the gym, they would be there in about 45 minutes. Joe, eventually I think what happened was Kobe texted Smush at like 2 in the morning and said, I'm going to work out at like 3:30. And Smush didn't answer him because he was asleep or whatever. And that was enough for Kobe to say, okay, I'm done with this guy.
Nick T, appreciate both the super chats that you put on. The first one is about how you felt that the Lakers getting killed on the boards. I know it really didn't showcase in the numbers, but there were times where the Lakers were just out of position, and I couldn't agree with you more on that. The second one from Nick is Lakers lead the league in 20-point losses. That is not a distinction you want. That's something that obviously JJ has to start focusing in on. This team loses focus quickly. Joe, as you pop in there, trade LaFlop James. I know that you're mocking Sean when he does that, but I've muted him now. You won't hear the keyboard. Great. We're all thinking we're number one now. When it comes right down to it, Joe, this team really needs a swift kick in the ass. And I'm not sure at this point in time, JJ is equipped because of what he's going through to be able to do just that. Because we talked about before, he's a rookie. He's going to go through his ups and downs. I think he's gotten out coached at times. I think he got out coached in that second half tonight. And I'm not sure he's going to be the guy right now with his headspace, with what's going on, to be able to get the job done for the Lakers. Although Robert Wheeler said, mark it down, he's got a top 4 seed by the Lakers before the end of the season, too.
This team is not just infected by the players, it's infected by everything. Doesn't matter if they get rid of LeBron and AD and all these players. The people in the front office can't wipe their own ass, let alone build a competent team. They have no image. They have no personality. They have nothing. It's been zapped. They keep wearing this stupid ass Lake Show jersey at home. Where's the golden armor? Where's the pride? Where's the Sunday whites? Road purples? No identity. Oh, we just want to sell jerseys and feed you a bunch of sodium-filled bullshit on our jerseys and put a little 44 there to honor the greatest, arguably the greatest Laker of all time. That's your Lakers right now, folks. That's our Lakers. That's what they are. And no one tells them because everybody wants something from them. Everybody wants something from LeBron and AD and Jeannie and Rob because they're rich and they're famous and they got these high-profile jobs. What they need to see is they need to see somebody like me telling them who they are, really. And of course, they'll project. They'll go, who's this guy? Nobody. Yeah, but deep down, they know it's true. A bunch of chumps. I don't give a shit how rich they are. I got money too. I can buy what I want to. Maybe I can't buy a 80-foot yacht. I don't want an 80-foot yacht. I got everything I want now. So what is it? What do you want to do when all that is on your side? What's next? Is it to suck ass and be full of shit like they are now? Is that the kind of life you want to live? Well, if you want to live like that, fine. Can you fuck off? Can we go draft somebody like Stephon Castle, who looked like he gave a shit, or Wembanyama, who gave a shit? I'm not saying that high caliber talent. I know that's going to be hard, but my point is these guys in San Antonio looked like they gave a shit. Looks like the Lakers looked like they ate shit at halftime.
Well, Joey, me and Gerald were having this discussion before you came on. It's almost as if you make that excuse for a team in the weather. Well, they had to battle the elements today in the snow. There are two teams. They're both playing in the snow. It's not like one has an advantage over the other. They're both playing in the goddamn snow. Like Gerald said, the Spurs had to sit through that Coop halftime presentation too.
My question is, why continue to have them during halftime? Because it interrupts the flow of the game. Can
Before
we
the
do that
game.
before?
Yes.
Would it kill? Would it be bad or inappropriate to do it? I'm asking you guys out there, because if you guys don't think that's proper, then I'll say fine, no problem. But I mean, Joe, would you have a problem with it happening before the game?
16 championships, that's where they was. Relax. What?
Yeah, before the game is better, Gerald. I mean, at
I'm
What the hell are you
saying-
talking about, Darren? And why'd you say 16?
They have 17.
They have 17. You all right? Been sniffing that glue? Stop sniffing glue. What are you doing?
But I'm just asking, Joe. I mean, if you guys
Who
think
gives a
it's
shit if it's
inappropriate,
before or during or after? Who cares? They were up 9, 10. And then they started putting the thumb up their ass and didn't play. What does that have to do with the halftime show? What? They lost their powers because they were resting for an extra 20 minutes? Come on, guys. No, doesn't matter. These guys have shown this before. This is who they are. They are not interested in winning. They never have been. They're interested in the story and selling jerseys and grab-assing and ass-licking and ass-kissing. That's what they do. That's what their owner does. It's going to trickle down. Excuse after excuse after excuse. It's over. It's over. The discussion is over. You're never going to convince anyone that has a half a brain even. So imagine that, folks. A lot of y'all have half a brain. Maybe you don't. Maybe you have a quarter of a brain. These players, and this organization are a bunch of tulips and pumpkins. When somebody tells them that they're a bunch of you-know-whats, they go crawl into the corner and just stay there like the cowards that they are. Tonight was a blaring call of cowardice. And I wish I could tell it to their face. And I know it sounded weird, me sticking up for Smush Parker, but if you listen to his interviews, you could see that the guy had something and he took offense to it. Hell, I'd rather have somebody defend themselves, even if they're wrong a little bit. And I know Kobe was hard, and I get it, and I'm with it. But sometimes you can't do the same thing with everybody. Sometimes you got to do certain other. Yeah, no one's perfect. I'm not blaming anybody or whatever. I was trying to make a point. The point of this at this situation, I'm trying not to compare it to before because that doesn't work, is that these guys are not about the work. They're not about the details. They're all like Smush not answering the call to go work out. So I'm glad you brought that up because that's what these guys are. I heard more about Reeves playing golf in the offseason. I heard more about LeBron perusing and doing whatever it is that he does with his extracurricular activity. Didn't really hear much of AD. All I heard was father-son bullshit. And then the other half is a bunch of chumps who are injured half the time. And all of a sudden they have magical injuries that come a week before training camp. How about that? No, Darren. No, Darren. Who cares to your shit? How about that? This team sucks just like your posts suck. And the proof is there. This is not me. I'm just the messenger. I'm just the messenger. You guys saw it tonight. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? You saw it. They lost by 24. That's a point. That's 33 points in the second half at home. Playing, what was it? One of my guys on Lakers ball, the perfect line, on Cooper night. These guys decided not to play defense. The irony. These guys are chumps. Live it. Know it. This is who they are. We're going to be here the rest of the year. You know, we'll say some nice things when they win, and when they lose, we'll just sit there and go, yeah, whatever. It is what it is. I'm ready for baseball season, man. I'm ready for a real organization and a real team, especially with Roki probably signing in about T-minus 10 days, the latest. Y'all know that you can't touch me, right? You can say whatever you want. It doesn't bother me. You guys saw it today, right? Not you. Talking about the crowd.
Yes. Mia said, at least AD donated to fire victims.
I'm like 90% of the way there.
Everyone else is all about me, myself, and I. I do want to add on Twitter. They did make a notification that AD said after the game he plans to meet personally with first responders and arrange for Lakers tickets for them as a small token of thanks for their service. So, AD, you know, we talk about how he can't do this. He doesn't step up, like he doesn't become the number one, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm going to give him a lot of credit for, doing what he needs to do to try and help the community in this tough time. But I just wish we'd had more of him tonight. He was the only good positive thing that we had going, Magic Man, and it just seemed like the Lakers, again, he just gets rolling, and there's these games where they just forget about him when they need him the most. That early fourth quarter when they didn't have him in the lineup, they had was it Jackson Hayes, LeBron out there, and then of course the guards that kept getting killed by Harrison Barnes. They were roasting him inside. AD not in there certainly made it a lot worse. JJ does have to get a little bit of the flack because he did not make adjustments when he saw that things weren't going the same way. But one of the things tonight that obviously a lot of people are back on. Here we go again with the Austin Reeves roller coaster. Now everybody wants to send Austin Reeves out on the first plane out of here. He was terrible tonight. There's just two ways about it. I think this Austin Reeves, the point guard thing, it has not worked before under previous head coaches, but they're trying to do it again, Magic Man. And you're getting a lot of mixed results. You're getting great games from him at times, and you're getting efforts like this tonight, Magic Man.
Yeah, Gerald, great phrase there for the point guard experiment with Reeves. Mixed results at best. Yeah. You could get a 4 or 5 game stretch where Austin is really cooking with the peanut oil. You could, average 25, 10, and 7 and look like he's ready to set the world on fire. And then, as Gerald said, mixed results, 4 out of the 5 games. He's got 6 or more turnovers, probably shooting anywhere from 28 to 30% from 3. And the defense is what it is at this point, Gerald. If you get a good defensive game out of Austin Reeves, I mean, you're up.
It's a rarity.
But it's rarer than a Halley's Comet. So with that, in that vein, the 3 gentlemen on this panel, Gerald kind of hesitated, but he gave Reeves a little bit of wiggle room by saying he could be a 6th or 7th man on a championship team.
I think so.
Just not this one. Just not this one.
Well, with its current makeup, I think the championship window has closed. Again, what Joe has said, and I agree to, is that
I think those storm windows just shut and broke her fingers.
The Lakers need someone as a dynamic third entity, whether or not you say it's a 2A or 3A or whatever you call them, someone that is going to come in and be able to lift this team up when they need it the most, plus get additional depth on top of it. And the problem is they don't have enough resources to do one, if not the other.
Oh, and Gerald, can we? I just have something to put up here. Please stop playing this lineup. Please stop playing those 5 guys together. It's awful. It's awful basketball to watch.
That's the lineup that started the 4th quarter, by the way, to everyone.
That's correct. That's correct. And he keeps giving them minutes.
Let me tell our audio crew. That's LeBron, Jackson Hayes, Gabe Vincent, Cam Reddish, and Dalton Connect. It was bad tonight. Cam Reddish, again, I've said it before, Magic Man. You've heard me say this about Cam Reddish. When he goes to the basket, it's an adventure. And it's not a good way. In a good way when I say that, because you have no idea what he's going to do. I don't think he even has any clue what he's going to do when he goes up in the air, because it looks awful. It looks terrible. And for a guy with his athleticism, I said there's just a disconnect for me from the guy I saw at Duke to whatever it is I've seen over the past 2 seasons, Magic Man. It is just absolutely unbelievable, the metamorphosis from what was to what I see now.
Absolutely, Gerald. You mentioned the athleticism. At Duke, it actually looked like he had coordination and balance to go along with that athleticism, especially when he was attacking the basket,
the rim. Yeah,
but I don't know what happened when he got to the NBA. But as Gerald said, he forgot his coordination and his balance at the front door, and it's an adventure. I'm with Gerald. I'm kind of sideways glancing every time he goes to the basket because, like Gerald said, It's a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get with him.
No, he left voluntarily because he had to do his post game for his channels, Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner. That's why
Yes.
he's gone. Can't blame Talk Studio on that one. But John,
I do a quick
go ahead,
recap
my
for
friend.
y'all. No, I was just gonna let him know. Just do a quick recap of the game, like a little 2-minute recap. So I was just doing that. But
Here's the quick recap: the Lakers sucked in the second half and deserved to lose. There you go.
Yeah, there you go, Gerald. Don't even need to watch mine. Gerald just gave it to you.
No, but watch his anyways. Like and subscribe again. But I wanted to go ahead and mention to you, as the president of the D-Lo fan club, we're going to bring this again because when they have games like this, and in Dallas and in Houston, so much has been put on the plate of Austin Reeves. And from a defensive standpoint, D'Angelo would have done very little to help you in this circumstance. But from a playmaking standpoint, maybe you could have helped LeBron reduce the turnovers. But for me, again, when it comes down to this trade, DFS is a nice little rotation guy. But people were talking to me months and months about DFS. And I said, he's averaging 10 points a game on a team that's headed for the lottery. That tells me he is only so good and can only do so much for a better organization. I just think that you already blew some assets that you really did not need to blow. And even if I understand Joe's addition by subtraction. We have not seen this addition as of yet because the team has actually been worse in the time that D'Lo has been gone, in my opinion. But not because of D'Lo per se. It's just they've just not been very good. The more I see this team,
Seriously?
John, the more I think that the trade should not have been down because I would have used D'Lo for an even better trade for an even better player, somebody that could have really done something for this team because that 18 points, whatever is it, 5-7 million, whatever it is, 18.5 million dollars, the Lakers could sorely need to make a trade for a person that could really benefit this team other than what DFS can do for us now.
Yeah, I'm right there on board with you. I mean, when the trade happened, I was like, "Yo, yeah, we're getting better on the wing, but this isn't taking us where we really want to go, where the end goal is." I was like, and y'all know how concerned I was about giving up D'Angelo Russell only because of the playmaking. And again, every time I say this, there's people who are like, "Oh no, you don't know what you're talking about." But you can just simply look at it. You can just simply look at Austin Reeves. He's just not a natural point guard. He's not a natural playmaker. Yes, he had that 16 assist game everyone loves to bring up, but that does not make you a natural playmaking guard. And that's exactly what D'Lo was. He was a natural playmaking guard. But I'll be honest with you, that wouldn't have made no fucking difference tonight because that's not what we needed tonight. What we needed tonight would have been some stops on defense. What we needed tonight was somebody to have some type of pride and not let Stephon Castle shoot 62% in the paint. Stephon Castle is like 6'4", and he shot 62% in the paint. What is going on, y'all? Man, I'll be honest. Like, yeah, I do think that D'Lo's playmaking would have been great, but it's not it wouldn't have made no difference tonight.
For me, it's about the money, holding on to that money until you could get somebody that could really help the Lakers out. But Joe, again, he saw it differently, and I'm not saying it wasn't without merit because again, what did D'Lo do? He in Minnesota, when he was starting for Minnesota, the team was better off with him not in the lineup. And again, this season, the team was quite often and quite frankly better off without him most times in lineup because of how bad D'Lo had played for most of the season. So there you go. But I'm just saying, as far as the asset, as far as his contract is concerned, and how you could have applied it to a bigger piece of the puzzle, because in the days ahead, Joe, we're going to hear the Levines again. We're going to hear the Kesslers and Sextons package again. We're going to hear, unless Boston trades for him, like Magic Man said, as far as the latest rumor now, we're going to hear about all these players that the Lakers want to go after, and now they have less assets to do so, especially after what we've seen is what they really need. They're now have less depth, in my opinion, that they've had before.
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
This team is cancer. It's in all phases of the team. Until you gut it all out, none of it is going to work. You could bring in, if you bring in a superstar, you have to gut half the team, and the rules don't really allow you to do that. So there's no chance of that. And then if you bring in a Sexton and a Kessler, let's say you got those guys, you're going to have to give up valuable future assets, which can't, unless you want to destroy your team for the next 10 years. It's a cancerous team with leaderless players from top to bottom. And Austin Reeves is playing out of position in a couple areas. Number one, he's not a point guard. Number two, he is a 6th or 7th man on a championship team. And Max Christie is a 8th, 9th guy on a. He might have improved to be actually becoming a legitimate NBA player this year, but I'm still not there really. But maybe he'd work on an 8, 9, maybe 10. Yeah. Like I said, I don't like this team from top to bottom. I have no respect really for most of them. I don't like them. I don't like them as players. I don't like their focus. I don't like the dedication. You can sit there, folks. I've been working out since I was 13 years old. Okay, just because you see a video of somebody working out, or then they're in good shape. Well, folks, when you're running for 3 hours, 82 times a year, you're going to be in shape. They're all in shape. That's their job. So I'm not going to sit here and pat them on the back for being in shape. But what they're doing inside that gym between those two hoops is what was the question you want to ask? What is this? Yeah. That should be outside El Segundo.
The two Bobs.
It's not that I'm lazy. It's that I just don't care. Don't care? It's a matter of motivation.
Great movie. Office.
The last VHS movie I watched.
Office Space, Sean.
I watched it every day for a month.
It's a good one.
I'm gonna go watch it now, actually, after the show.
What is it, like a comedy movie or something like
it's
that?
a comedy. John, you laugh. Yeah,
it's a late
John,
90s comedy that you need to check out whenever you get a chance.
I'll watch that for sure.
John, you won't like it.
What, Joe? I can't even try.
You won't like it.
Do I have enough flair? I need more flair. You need more flair.
Joanna, people can eat a cheeseburger anywhere. They come to tchotchkes for the attitude, the atmosphere. It's all about the fun.
I don't know. It's crazy. Like every movie, like my friends or like people that I'm around with talk about, I've almost never seen them. I just watch basketball movies.
You remind me of Captain America when he came out of the frozen. He's like, and then Winter Soldier. The first thing he had is this list of everything he had to do or see to catch up in the modern world by somebody suggesting a movie or a certain thing. And he had the list. It was so funny because if you understand what went on as far as the Marvel universe, depending on the market, that list when they go to his tablet, what he wrote in his notebook, the list of things changed depending on the market the movie was shown to. So I just wanted to put that in there. But Damazine said, Magic, I'm going to put this to you because Joe, I think will probably be a little bit blunt about this. Lakers Nation said we are still better than Denver and the Mavs, and how is that possible? Thank God you guys aren't delusional. Damazine, that's my quote of the day right there. We are
I'll say something real quick on that. Yeah, this is not. We're not on the usual podcast in general.
New viewer, new listener. Thank you for joining.
You know what? We're doing a lot better than that dead dog down the road, and we're doing a lot better than that decomposing coyote in the reservoir. That's great. That's great. But we're still on the road to hell.
It's
I'm on
yeah.
the
I don't even know.
highway.
I don't know what
Yeah,
that's.
we're on the highway to hell, all right?
Go ahead, Joe.
Sorry, Joe.
It's hard to tell the truth sometimes.
It's not hard to tell the truth.
Not for me. Not for us.
You see a
No,
10
not
pound
for
bag
us.
of
I'm talking about
you see a 10-pound bag of shit, you call it out.
most people don't. They'll say it behind your back.
How
When
lovely.
people go to a birthday party and they see some things, oh, that's great. Oh, that's sweet. And as soon as they get back in their car and they're on the way back home, oh my God, did you see that armoire? Oh my God, I can't believe she has that. Come on, man.
I did get confused for Trevor.
What's great is the 7-year-old in the back hearing that, and then
you see their kids running around telling their moms and dads, leave me alone or shut up. And I'm like,
That's
man,
crazy.
I would have kicked this kid in the freaking ass out the window.
Fuck are you talking to?
Like, who the hell do you think you're talking to? You know?
Man.
And then if you talk like that, they're thinking you're some kind of barbarian. And which is great, by the way. I love that shit.
Loud, it's not allowed, Joe. Loud, it's not allowed.
Joe, let me just say something real quick, Joe. The other day that happened to me. My daughter was acting a fucking fool in the store, and I have no problem grabbing my daughter and like grabbing her by the arm, and somebody had the fucking audacity to be like, whoa, like, don't you think it's a bit much? I was like, this is my fucking daughter. Mind your fucking business. Like, I'll treat her however the fuck I want to treat her. And I'm a big believer. If you don't hit your kids, you don't discipline your kids, the world will, and the world will do it with no mercy. But sorry to cut you off, Joe. I just had.
Oh no, you weren't. The thing is with the kid thing, I've had to reiterate the difference between child abuse and discipline.
Absolutely.
When I grew up, I got my ass whooped. It's probably why my pain tolerance is so high. I'm talking straight up. Remember the fly swatter? Remember the fly swatter with the net? Oh, and then when the net would fall off, it's the devil's stick, the horns.
Damn.
Man, I used to get that in the legs. Luckily, my mom and dad had a little bit of a heart. They didn't ever hit me in the head. But man, my legs got welted. But that was crazy. I was crazy as a kid. So it is, it was what it was. I had an incident in Hawaii during COVID. We went to Hawaii. I think it was, when was it? Was it September?
Mm-hmm.
So about 6 months after COVID did what it did. And I was in a plane. We did a direct flight from Ontario, California to Kauai, our favorite island. So the entire time, it's a 6.5 hour flight. I had to have a mask on like everybody else. Understandably, you're in a plane. But man, the second I got out of the plane, man, I just was like, I'm in Hawaii. It was a little bit of overcast, but it was still Hawaii. I hadn't been there since my honeymoon in 2008. Man, I'm sitting there waiting for the bus for the
hotel
rental car to come pick us up so we can go get a rental car. I'm outside like I was like The Rock, like
can
you smell like in my head, right? And all of a sudden I got my eyes closed and I'm just breathing the air and I hear a voice on the right going, put your mask on. Put your mask on. And I was in my zone and I look and it's some lady with her mask, a hat, a coat. I don't know what the fuck she was wearing. And I was like, bitch, mind your own business. I mean, she shut down. Like, she got, like, her eyes bugged out and she just, like, started looking straight ahead. And the best part of the story was my wife was straight ahead and this is how she looked at me. She's like, you stupid asshole. You just yelled at an old lady. I said, fuck that bitch, man. I'm trying to stand out here. I'm outside.
Oh my God.
I'm outside. If I was in the plane, I understand. I'm outside. I've been in a goddamn plane with this stupid ass mask, smelling my own spit.
I would have told her to go home and get your metal.
It was funny. If we had recorded everything, it would have been funny.
I would have loved to see that.
And of course, my wife had a point. I'm like, I didn't really yell at her. I just told her to mind her own business.
You really
And
called her a bitch?
Yeah.
Did you call her a bitch, Joe?
Yeah.
Hey, just so you guys know, I'm not kicking kids and yelling at old ladies. I almost got into a fight about 4 months ago against a 6'8" guy. Apparently, he didn't like hearing the truth about why contractors, when they're putting sprinklers in during new developments, how they're lazy. Yeah, and he started mouthing off, and I had to actually take my hat off. I threw it. The guy kept cussing me out right in front of my client. And I'm like, hey, man, look. And I threw my hat. It was this hat. I threw the hat, and I said, okay, motherfucker. And I walked right in the middle of the street, and I said, come on, bitch, let's go. Come on. And, of course, then his friends came over. Hey, man, he's kind of drunk. And I'm like, well, he's kind of drunk. Maybe you should stop drinking.
Straight up.
So, yeah, it's a dog-eat-dog world. And what was the final thing on that one? That was kind of stupid back in the day. What was that, Sean? You remember that one?
Dog eat dog world. I'm not gonna get 8. I don't know.
Oh, I was thinking of the wedding singer line. Well, it's a material world, and I'm a material girl.
Yeah.
Boy. So yeah, the discipline thing. Luckily, I haven't had to smack my kids. They're girls. It's a little harder to do with the girls usually.
You could grab them though.
I did once when one of my the youngest one, kind of really wouldn't stop, but I didn't like it. I can't do that.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it.
Can we just tone down on the child abuse before we get
It's not child abuse. It's my own child.
I understand that, but can we get to move on from the discipline on the children here? Just that guys are just broaching subjects and just that's
hold on.
not
Lakers.
To end this discussion, Gerald, there are several studies that have shown that a child
I just don't want knocks on your
without
door.
discipline is more likely to end up in jail.
Absolutely.
I understand that discipline is needed when dealing with children. I understand it, but for your guys' sake, I just don't want the local law enforcement to end up knocking on your door.
I already had that happen.
Lakers legacy. You're damn right, bro. This is fucking ridiculous.
After
Bro.
point four, I got the cops calling.
But I haven't been able to find the stat yet, but if somebody in the chat or Gerald, if you could find it, I believe the Lakers now, if they're not first, they're second or third in the NBA in terms of blown fourth quarter leads.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
I'll check to see if that's available as a stat. I know that might be Cleaning the Glass might have that.
Yeah.
Sean's look when I said that was hilarious. He's like,
Anthony,
you were like a disappointed parent. You're like,
you see what I deal with, everyone? It is, of course, the Lakers.
will you stop with what you deal? We don't deal with anything.
Right. When I deal with you, that's part of the problem right there. 126-102, the Lakers lose. The Lakers are now 20-17, 7th place in the Western Conference.
Hot Fuzz, that's another good movie.
Anthony Irwin from Clutch Talk doesn't care what the local authorities say.
I love the names, Kurt. Kurt's just giving me all these names. Say I do manual transmissions. Anthony Irwin. I don't know who that is. Yeah,
he is the guy on Civil Screen and Roll, formerly of Locked On Lakers. Could not do an ad promo to save his life. Yeah, absolutely.
Welcome.
He's terrible, and he does not. He thinks he knows more than he actually does. Yeah, he thinks he's this Laker guru. And,
has anybody told him though? Shall we?
I'm sure a lot of people. Yeah. We'll say it right now. I don't want to
send Sean at him, see what he does.
Yeah, perfect. There you go. 6 Sean. Rawr. Go get him, Sean. But again, it is the Lakers losing.
Oh, my favorite line from wrestling. Will you stop? The great Gorilla Monsoon. My God, those guys were something else. Him and Bobby Eaton.
Lakers next game.
I was watching the.
I'm sorry. I'll never get. I'll never till I die. It will never leave me, Jerry Lawler talking about how many gerbils Mark Henry and Mae Young.
Jeez.
I don't know if what I'm doing right now
He just
Mia, is
set the world
moderating.
record for most gerbils.
His scream it should have been a soundbite in every phone out there.
Jerry?
Here you
Jerry
go.
Lawler.
Yeah.
So John, let me bring it back to you. Lord
Yes.
Beerus.
Okay, what you talk about, Lord Beerus?
Lakers' problem is trusting a 40-year-old to carry the load when AD and AR suck. I've seen games when LeBron out-hustled the Who team effort-wise. That in itself told me that the season is in jeopardy. Again, tonight, offensively, okay, if he's not giving you anything defensively, you expect LeBron to show up offensively. And he was shooting great. 7-11, 2 of 3 from 3. He's only taken 11 shots, 7 turnovers. I don't know what's going on. He's just like he was going through the motions. I mean, he could have had a really good offensive game when he's shooting that well. He's got to say, this is my night. Okay, if I'm not going to give any effort defensively, I got to take it over on the other end.
But of course, he didn't do that. And which is why, like the way I started, my whole spiel when I was talking about this, I gave a blame of JJ, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. This was an all-around terrible team effort. But as the head of the team, as the head of the snake, like, you got to be able to make adjustments. You got to be able to tell them, yo, switch that, yo, let's do this, let's do that. And I didn't see that from LeBron. I didn't see that from Anthony Davis. I didn't see the demanding of the ball, right? Like, if you got it going and you're the best player on the team, man, you better have that Kobe hiss. When Kobe hiss, they knew it was time to give that motherfucker up. So Anthony Davis, I'm not saying he's gonna have a hiss, but he's gotta have a yo. Let me see that every time, because if he's got it going, he's got to take over, and that's part of the reason why I say, like, this guy could just never be a number one, right? Because a true number one in that moment, they see that, they're like, oh yeah, I'm capturing this moment, and I'm not gonna let it slip. It's like the Eminem song. It's like, would you capture it or would you just let it slip, right? And Anthony Davis lets it slip literally every time.
Joe, let me bring it back over to you. You and I talked about last night on the nightcap about how you weren't into that all touchy-feely stuff about teams playing for the community and motivation or something to do to uplift the community. The Rams, as you know, in Arizona won tonight. And after the game, Matthew Stafford said, there was definitely every excuse in the book to come out here and be lethargic and woe is me and all that, like we saw in the second half of the Lakers game. I've just added that in there, by the way. But we knew we weren't playing just for us, Stafford said. We were playing for people back home that needed something to watch and enjoy, and I'm glad that we could give it to them.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
That's actually words from somebody who writes a check his ass can cash.
And Juju Watkins, I said after the game on USC, said the same thing. After the game, I bet you can find it. If you'll find quotes from,
I'm sure there was
Norman
there's
Powell
some.
or
I'm sure that
say the same thing.
I'm sure that he was. That was a heart to heart. Sure. We also have to factor in that they played the Minnesota Vikings, whom played above their heads all year. Congratulations to them. But the reality is, it's still a Sam Darnold run team, and we saw them get exposed the last 2 weeks, and that played a part as well. I don't believe that any team is focused on outside instances during a game. Yeah, you can't do that. You have to focus on the game. So a lot of that is just puffed up stuff. It's just not. It's not true. you're not playing for the people back home, really. You're playing because you're in the playoffs and you want to go win a Super Bowl. I will say this, though. Players will play for their teammates, their coaches. That'll inspire. That inspires. I saw that many a times. Ray Bork, Sean, remember Ray Bork when he went to Colorado?
Mm-hmm.
Then what are the Lakers playing for then, Joe? According to
that
JY?
money.
For the money and their free entrances to nightclubs and
Because
golf courses.
It's what Joe said. It's not for pride. They're not playing for pride.
No. You can see it in how they play. You don't need to listen to us. Folks, there's nothing we're saying that isn't confirmed. It's just that it's hard for you to see or hear that elsewhere besides here most of the time. And all you have online is a bunch of trolls that just say, Kobe sucks. LeBron sucks. He needs to retire. Okay, why? Because he sucks. Okay, well, you gave us nothing. LeBron is toast.
Yeah, I think
Mentally.
Joe and John are right. JY, I think it's for just the fame and acclaim, and it's like Johnny said, it's for that. Keep getting them checks, but you know, Gerald, and I think this needs to be kind of reminded every once in a while, is that your resume is your tape, is a film. Now you get paid an exorbitant amount of money in the NBA, more so than pretty much in every other sport except baseball right now. But if you're not performing up to a standard, whether that's objective or subjective, to just one executive, you could be gone, Gerald. You could have a really short career in the NBA. Ask Josh Primo about bad decision making. Ask that dude about it. So these guys need to realize they're not above being cut, released. Something happens, and all of a sudden that dream is just in a million pieces on the ground. But like Joe's been saying, because you have guaranteed contracts, that you think that means you have a guaranteed not to give a shit or when to give a shit on a certain game. You don't get to make those decisions in the real world, Joe. With an actual job, you don't decide, well, I'm going to give 50% effort for the first 5 hours. And then for 3 to 5, I'm just going to do 75. But no, you can't do that.
Yep.
But like Joe and John self are saying, sometimes these guys just roll out of bed, decide, well, you know what? We're just going to play offense today. We're not going to play any defense. Or in LeBron's case, I'm just going to decide when to pick and choose when I give a shit.
Yeah. And
Lakers all day. We're almost out of here, but yeah, if you want to send me an email, I mean, let you know it, LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com. We can send you on here real quick. But John, you have I was going to say, you have a Sean that's talking some hard smack on you because he thinks he knows it all. I predicted the Spurs would win. I got 1 out of 82 games right, John. What am I going to do? I'm so great. Let me pat myself on the back.
Let me say this. So that is this dude that I know, and he didn't tell me prior to the game, but he texted me. He said, I knew the Spurs were going to win. He didn't say it to him prior to the game, but one thing I will say is we were texting during the game, and he was saying like, oh, like teams always lose on like retirement jersey nights, and then I was like, well, shit. At that point, it was still the second quarter. I was like, shit, we good. Like, we having a great second quarter. We had went on a 14-5 run. I was like, yeah, it's good.
Did I lose you?
And then the Spurs went off and ran off the rest of the game. So I mean, that's what he was talking about. But I mean, shit. It is what it is. But Sean, to your point you made about like them not caring and like not being able to do this with a regular job. That's one of my biggest pet peeves with just like NBA players and just like, oh, like today's like an injury prevention day. Like I'm not gonna play, not because I'm injured, but just I want to prevent injury, or like the whole thing. And we don't got to get into this. I'm sure Gerald probably doesn't want to as much, but the whole thing with Kyrie, like when he was just fucking up and leaving out of nowhere, and then he comes back, and then he's in the press conference saying like, "Oh, I needed some time for my mental health." What the fuck? So you just left without telling anybody and come back and expecting a job and expecting all this and just say it's because of your mental health? Like, imagine if I did that. I'd be out of a job. You know what I'm saying?
I'd be out of a job too, Johnny. Hospital tell me to go screw yourself, Sean.
They'd be like, go ahead. All right, take your last check and leave. Like, and that's my one thing that like I just absolutely like hate about NBA players, that they just act like, hey, I can take days off whenever I want to. And today was exactly what we just saw. A player deciding just to take a day off.
Just coming in now is Lakers All Day. Great to have you back, Myra. Appreciate you joining us.
What's up?
What's up,
we want to give you some room when
Shout
you
out
can.
to you, brother.
So
Absolutely. Your thoughts on this miserable Lakers performance, and before you go, whoever's just like spamming the same comment over and over again, why
keep
waste
doing
your time,
it.
man?
It's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah,
I got that.
Sean's on it.
Yeah, but I've got him. I'm watching him now in case it gets any worse. But yeah, I timed him out because it just, man, that's someone else's comment, or it could be you on a different profile. But man, just come on, give it up. Go ahead.
Who?
All right, so let me check this out. Boy, this team trash. Let me tell y'all something. It's trash. I'm sorry.
No, you said it right. You said it right
trash.
there with it less than 6 words. You said that right there.
It's trash, bro. Because like first of all, we traded D'Lo, right? Knowing that we're gonna have point guard issues, right? That's the first problem. Second problem is you put Austin Reeves at point guard. That's the second problem. Now, you know what I'm saying? You know, JJ is a first time head coach. You know, back in the day when he played basketball, he didn't have no defensive effort at all. Right? So now your defense trash. And now it looks like they're not even talking on defense. And you know what else it looks like? It looks like they low-key just switching everything. They not even talking on defense, they just switching everything. You got Austin Reeves playing point guard because I don't know why. And you got everybody else that's not doing a job. And AD out here scoring 30, LeBron scoring 18, Austin Reeves scoring 12 or 15, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Is that the case? Just go bring back Darvin Ham if you're gonna play like this crap.
Straight up.
Because it's the same thing from last year. LeBron and AD doing their thing, but the others ain't doing what they got to do.
No in-game adjustments. Might as well bring Darvin Ham back.
Nothing.
Real shit. That's a real. I like that actually.
Because like it's like, you know what I'm saying, like okay, fine, you know what I'm saying, I understand the fires and everything that, but we had rest. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we had rest, and you come out here looking like this, like, you feel me? Like 7 days of rest, and you come out here losing in the third, fourth quarter.
Man,
like,
and Gerald, you always talk about rested LeBron is great, right? But man, that shit was not great today.
Shoot, at this point, I don't even think it's. I think it's everybody. I think it's the coach. I think it's the players. I think some of the players don't like playing with each other. I don't even think it was D'Lo, because you know what I'm saying. If D'Lo said we over here, low key probably ran D'Lo off the court and got him traded, when probably D'Lo wasn't even the problem. Maybe the problem is on the court. Maybe the problem is maybe it's LeBron James, or maybe it's Austin Reeves, or maybe it's Rui. Maybe it's everybody on the court. You know what I'm saying? With the others that come off the bench. You feel me? So maybe you think okay, you know what I'm saying? Like I said on somebody else's channel earlier today, I was like, LeBron needs a playmaking point guard that could score and help him out when LeBron don't have it tonight.
Man.
AD needs a center so he can help out. So low-key, that center can help AD out when he don't have it.
But the thing is, Lakers all day, he shot 7-11 and 2 or 3 from 3. Had he, I'm not talking about the defense because that's obviously bad,
No.
but
Yeah.
he was shooting very efficiently. 7 turnovers, yeah, sloppy ball handling all day long. But when he's shooting this well, why isn't he taking more shots?
Who? You talking about Anthony Davis?
LeBron, 7-11,
Mm-hmm.
2 or 3 from 3.
Because maybe he wants everybody else to do their job. Maybe he wants everybody else to do their job. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying. If you're a star player, right, and you're the quarterback, right, and you're the one that has to get the points, you know, lead this team to win, and do everything else, right? You know what I'm saying? You're doing what you got to do, but is the others doing what they got to do to low-key help you out? Because if they're not doing what you got to do, then they got to go. You know what I'm saying? Because we had this problem last year and the year before that, and we still talking about it till this day. So is it AD have to go and LeBron got to go, or is it the others got to go and we got to get new players in here that can play with LeBron and AD? Because that's what it looks like.
Joe, any response to that? And then May, you posted a question for you specifically.
I'm gonna answer Mayu's real quick, and then I'll tail off Lakers all day here. So Westbrook is playing so well with the Nuggets. He's having his most efficient season. Seems Jokic. Goddamn list.
It seems Jokic actually makes his teammates better, and LeBron
So
does.
I found it interesting that Jokic wanted Westbrook during
Yes,
the
he did.
offseason. Why was the question in my head initially, but then I said, what does Jokic know that we don't know? Well, you're finding out. And you're going to
But
continue.
also, you also got to put Harden, not just LeBron, but you got to put Harden and Kawhi in that mix because he didn't work out with the Clippers either, Joe.
Nothing works out when you're a Clipper. So the future of the Lakers is dependent on when Jeannie Buss will sell the team to the Guggenheims. That is it. There's no other story. It doesn't matter if you put LeBron, AD, their children on there, their grandchildren, Austin Reeves' future grandchildren. This team is it's stuck. It's stuck in stupidness. It's just there's no other way to look at it. It's been there. It's not something that just happened yesterday, last year. It just keeps getting worse because they just keep trying to reconfigure the design of whatever model that they're playing with, right? But the problem is, at the end of the day, it's shit, right? That they keep fixing. So last year, the shit was this nice little heart. This year, it was maybe 2 hearts. But at the end of the day, it's still shit. And until the leadership of this organization sells to a better managed business person, company, this is what you're going to have. Dr. Buss passed away 10 years ago. That was the end of the Laker legacy for what it was. And it sucked that it had to be at the end of Kobe's career, but at some point, careers end. So it's not, 20 years, a lot of years. Kobe did his job. But the problem is you put numbskulls like Jim Buss in charge. The other son, Johnny, was a fucking moron. This other sister wasn't involved. And then you have Jeannie, who is more concerned about what kind of sweater to put on her fucking dog than she is worried about the Lakers. So how is that going to help? How is that going to help build a prestigious legacy writing organization? And you bring this sleazy snake oil salesman in Rob Pelinka, who's constantly full of shit every time he opens his trap. That's why he has to go hide in some barracks somewhere anytime things go bad. Where the fuck is this guy? Does this guy ever? I remember I used to see Mitch in the corridor, and kind of like how Jerry West used to be. This motherfucker is never around.
His face wouldn't change either. They could be up by 40 or down by 40.
Where is this guy? This is your machine caller, right? When you're not there, Sinatra used to say 90% of it is being there. When a real leader is gonna be there, he's going to be there. A real leader is there, good and bad. Cowards run, cowards hide. That's what that motherfucker is. And as far as LeBron James and Anthony Davis, I was, you guys know I love AD. I love AD until this year. This year, I've kind of started going down with AD. I think AD, I know his foot is hurting, but that doesn't mean you can't lead. But he's not a leader. And LeBron is just stat padding at this point. Anybody who tells me different, I'm going to tell you to go stick it up your ass because I'm not going to believe you. So don't even try. LeBron,
but we'll be called. Remember, LeBron.
I don't give a fuck what I'm called. I have no fuck. You can call me whatever the fuck you want. It won't affect me in the least bit. I'm still gonna get my 11 and a half hours of sleep a night. Not even in a minute less. Yeah, that's what happens, Sean, when you run your own shit. So now, that's why I'm healthy, man. That's why I do what I do. Come on, man. I'm just kidding. I don't sleep 11 and a half hours.
Would be nice though.
Don't try and bullshit me. John.
I was waiting for you to do something. You didn't do it.
Don't try and bullshit me with your 11
You're like-
and a half hours. If I get 11 and a half hours in 3 nights, that's good for me.
The team needs to go all the way. Because if they get rid of this team, you still have these schmucks calling the shots. These guys haven't been able to win more than one season. One season, the last, 12 seasons? 12 seasons, they've won one. They've gotten 50 wins one of those years. So what is the end game here? Is it Iron Man dying? Is it, sorry for spoiler alert, by the way. Is it Iron Man dying? Is it Genie turning into Georgia Frontier, since we were talking about the Rams? Remember that, Gerald?
I do.
What was she? A showgirl?
Let's just
She
move over.
won a title too, right?
Yeah.
So, but guys, it's just not. It's done. It's over.
In between ping ponging the team back and forth for St. Louis.
Correct. It's over. It's over. I don't want to see LeBron play anymore for the Lakers, and I'm getting to the point where I don't want to see AD play anymore. All the other guys is just they're just role players. It doesn't really matter. Rui and Austin and Reddish, like who gives a shit about? Like that doesn't matter. Those guys are a dime a dozen. This team needs to be sold to a competent owner that knows how to build a team. And until Genie sells this team, you guys are going to watch the Lakers play like this. Might even be worse, actually. And that's a fact.
So before we end it out,
there you go. That's the button.
and you stamped it indeed. But once again, the Lakers lose 126-102. They fall to 20-17. 7th place to Western Conference. We're going to get some final thoughts. Magic Man, some final thoughts on this disaster. I know, John, I'm going to get you to go ahead and plug what's going on your channels and Lakers All Day. I want to make sure I hear some words from you, my friend, before we head on out. Go ahead, Match.
Well, just to put a oh man, hold on, Gerald. I don't know how else. I don't know how else to describe this other than to just say flush the turd and move on, because it just all this was tonight was a turd.
There you go. I remember Zach saying. I remember Zach during playback asking how long our game are. I think you're getting a good taste of it. I don't know if he was going to. Hope he was going to come on the show, but he didn't do so. Do you know Lakers Zach, John?
He follows Lakers Corner on Instagram. I don't know him personally, and he interacts with Lakers Corner on Instagram, and then I always post that we do this on Instagram, and He asked
Yeah.
for VIP, so I was like,
Yeah, and I
sure.
gave him the link, so yeah, hopefully he'll come by the channel and be able to hop on out with us. But Joe, you wanted to say something before I get it back to John?
Yeah,
And
well, someone was mentioning where the hell's going on here? Stupid ads. Someone was mentioning, was it Mayu? Is it Mayu? Talking about Tom Brady. Old Brady was outperforming prime Mahomes. Old Brady beat Mahomes in the Super Bowl because Mahomes had no offensive line after that last AFC Championship game. And Brady had a defense that just was relentless for 60 minutes. Of course, I know Brady scored 33 points, but just know, man, this is a team game, man. Even Brady lost to Nick Foles, and he passed for 500 yards in that game. So just throwing it out there. I'm not saying that Tom isn't the GOAT, but Mahomes is going to have a chance to maybe tickle that a little bit here in the next 5 years.
John, before we head out, what are you working on your great channels, Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner? Please like and subscribe. And then again, also speaking of liking, please like this video. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe to this channel as well. Go ahead, John.
Yes. Check me out, guys. I have 2 channels. One being Lakers Corner, where I do recaps Lakers games like under 2 minutes. I do like in-depth videos, some film breakdowns, and then also check me out on TikTok. On TikTok, I'm almost at 7,000. No, yeah, I'm almost at 7,000, and it's at Lakers Corner 24. And then Instagram is Lakers_corner. And get at me, man. And on my other channel is Clutch Talk, YouTube, Apple Podcast, Spotify. But besides that, I mean, an embarrassing game, but I love spending time with Gerald, Magic Man, Joe, and even Lakers all day, brother. And the chat, all you guys here are lit. Joe, Joe,
Beautiful.
That's beautiful, man.
Magic Man's like, fuck that.
By the way, yeah, again, if you see Zach on Instagram, yeah, tell him to stop on by. We'd love to have him on the show.
Okay, hold on. I gotta say something. Justin, why are you disappointed, man? Tell me what's up. Tell me, how does that make you feel?
Why? I mean, I don't know. What are you expecting us to?
Hold on, let him talk. Lakers, talk.
Okay.
Room
and
14.
Somebody put Eli as greater than Tom. I hope you were not being serious.
Oh, he is. Eli's great.
That's funny.
On TV. Eli's such a... What's the word? Let's talk about what we need to go forward. Oh, I just told you what we need.
Joe, you know what the word is. You could just say it.
he's a freaking... Oh, man. I don't
Blowing
know.
Up the team, Justin.
Yeah, Justin, we just said it for like 20 minutes. They got this whole thing out.
The Guggenheims.
You got to pull all that cancer out, baby. Pull it all out.
Lakers all day. Any last thoughts, my friend, before we head on out? And great to have you here, by the way. And you know how to get a hold of me if you want to jump on the show.
Yep.
Eli, man. Oh, sorry. Lakers all day.
You good, man. You good. I mean, I don't know what to say, y'all. I mean, first we lose to the Mavericks, now we lose to the Spurs. Like, this low-key's a 3-game losing streak. I mean, bro, we gonna have to do something. I mean, if we gonna keep this team till the trade deadline or after the trade deadline, we gotta blow this up. Or, trade deadline, make a trade. Do something. Like, go trade everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, do something, because this is not the Laker way, and this is not how we win championships. So they gonna have to do something, because if you keep this team and you make a trade, let's say you do make a trade deadline, but you know what I'm saying, we don't get the right pieces on trade deadline. That's the case, then blow it all up. Because you know what I'm saying, like other teams, they're getting better, like the Knicks, like Memphis and all them. So we gotta get better. Like, if we're not gonna fire nobody, and if we gonna like go ahead, you know, trade a deadline, go do that. Because LeBron not gonna be here long, and AD, I mean, yeah, like it's AD, but he need help too. So Rob really has to do something.
Rob isn't capable of doing anything.
I know, but I'm
There
just
isn't,
hoping.
and neither is Jeannie capable of doing anything. Jeannie does not have. First of all, she doesn't have the resources to invest in what's needed to be done. She doesn't have the business acumen to do it. And if you need proof of that, look how she treated Jerry West, who was the greatest executive in my lifetime that I've ever seen in any sport.
Well, sure, that's the case.
Way his lifetime seats.
If that's the case,
And the way
just,
she conducted herself with that tells you a lot about who she is. And it's not difficult. Sorry, Sean, go ahead.
Go ahead, Joe. Finish, Joe.
I'm done. I'm done. I've said enough. Go ahead.
No, go finish. No, you can say something.
Jeannie is not. Look, Jeannie. The 2020 title, in a lot of ways, was like the '95 Super Bowl for the Cowboys. It gave a false sense of security to two numbnuts. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Jerry Jones equally agreed to split with Jimmy Johnson, who built that Cowboy dynasty in the 90s. When he left in 1993, after the 93 season when they won back-to-back championships, they lost in 94 in a close NFC championship game to the Niners, but then they came back the following year and won a Super Bowl. That with Barry Switzer. That gave Jerry see, I told you I can win without Jimmy Johnson. It was his fucking players. Of course you won. But then after that, they haven't seen an NFC championship game, let alone a Super Bowl berth or a title, since 1995. Well, it was technically 96 when they played the game. Imagine that. That's almost 30 years, 28 years. The Lakers winning in 2020 gave validation to Jeannie for just a short amount of time. But the reality was the stars kind of aligned at the perfect time. And they won. But what it did was they became complacent. They took too many chances. They weren't thinking straight enough on how to continue this run. And they ended up costing the Lakers probably a couple more championships. And on top of that, what makes it worse and why there was so much anger at the end of last season, two reasons why. Number one, the Celtics winning the championship. And then the fact that they wasted so much time on a fucking player that can't play. They spent all their fucking energy on that shit for some reason. So how are you going to convince me now that this team is actually about winning? How are you going to convince me that LeBron gives a shit about winning championships? I don't care what you say, folks. This goes for anyone. I don't care how rich you are. I don't care where you are. I don't care how famous you are. Please listen when I say this. I don't care about who you are. I'm a Laker fan. I don't care if you're a billionaire. I don't care if you're LeBron James. If you're going to play like a chump and act like a chump, I'm going to call you a chump. Sure, you can go on your mansions and your bullshit and be all happy and be like, oh, I got a better life than you. Yeah, of course. Go ahead. Believe that if you want. But you're still suck ass playing with the Lakers right now. You got your ass handed to you by guys that basketball media people don't even know their names. They worked you like you were a bitch. Look at how you played tonight. Everybody was doing this tonight. Just watching. Watching. Stefan was just going to the hoop. Going to the hoop. Castle was just going to the hoop. Without any resistance. Is that my fault? Am I misjudging? You did it. I didn't do it. Oh, you don't understand, Joe. You don't play the game. I'll tell you this, motherfuckers. If I was playing in any game, I'm not playing like this. Sorry. I know I can't prove it sitting in this chair, but I know for a fact that anytime I've played anything, I've always given it 100%. That's just the way it is. So the Lakers team is toast. They've been toast. They're going to be burnt toast by the end of the year. And you guys, a lot of you people out there are still going to sit there, kiss their ass, eat all their bullshit up. Not here. We're not doing that here. This team needs to go all in on the all out. Jeannie, Rob, everyone. Get this team sold to owners that know how to run a franchise. 27%. They already have 27% of your team. Give them the rest. Give them the remaining 73. Let them own the building. Let them own the land. Let them own the team. And let's see how those guys turn this thing around, and they would. That's. I'm going to be campaigning for the Guggenheims to buy the Lakers until it happens. And that's the bottom line.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like 3 a.m. for Sean.
That's insane.
And I know, John, you're looking like I just like it to blanket up like
I'm getting tired. It's 12 o'clock. I got a 7 a.m. meeting tomorrow.
We're gonna shut it down. But Magic Man, in honor of that, any last thoughts? Again, coming into this month, we thought it was going to be a prime month for the Lakers to make a move in the standings up. But so far, all they've been doing is making a down turn. So,
Yeah,
at least the Golden State and to Darren, Golden State is actually the only team in the West playing worse than us. They're actually in 12th place now in the Western Conference. Go ahead, Magic.
Yeah, they lost up in Canada tonight. So to one of the worst Raptors teams I've ever seen. Before we end it, Gerald, I just want to say there's a certain man, who is evading a lot of criticism in the Lakers organization. And he's been with Jeannie from the very start, Gerald. Do you know who I'm talking about? Tim Harris.
That's a good point.
Harris
was him much.
No, Harris was the one who cockblocked Magic from wanting to fire Luke Walton. Tim Harris is president of business operations for the Lakers, Gerald. He has nothing to do with the basketball side of the operation. So why was he so committed and so passionate about not allowing Magic Johnson to do the job that he was hired to do? And then you fired John Black. I like John Black, Gerald. I thought John Black was a great employee for the Lakers. Then you go ahead and you decide you're going to take input from Tim Harris about basketball operations over your own general manager and president that you've hired. As Joe said, dysfunction junction. And I think he holds some responsibility. But like you said, Gerald, as long as the Lakers keep making money, Jeannie's just going to keep Tim Harris right where he is.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, like as Joe said, it shouldn't always be about money, but with the Lakers, it definitely is. But right now, the Lakers are flailing in the wind as they lose again on a day where they really needed to pick up the community with the win, and they failed to do so. They lose 126-102. Truly appreciate everyone out there sticking with us so late. It is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. We'll be on late tomorrow, maybe a nightcap, maybe a snack pack. We haven't decided yet for sure, but we'll go ahead and do so. I got a great article that I want to go ahead and drop here pretty soon from Mark. I just want to go ahead and give him a chat before we go ahead and do so. Joe, Magic Man, and John Costa, please support Joe at, of course, his game. That would be Corrupt, COREUPT on Steam. And, of course, Simblades, his company, and LakersBall.com, where he stands by over there as well. And then, of course, John Costa, Clutch Talk, and Lakers Corner, and Magic Man heading up our Playback.tv, Lakers Fast Break team. So truly appreciate you joining us. Once again, the Lakers lose. We'll be back tomorrow to go ahead and discuss, and vent, and do the things that we do and complain and get all you mad at us and get all of you riled up and say we're LeBron haters and LeBron lovers all at the same time and all that great stuff, because we love you. Hopefully you love us. Please like and subscribe to all the great things we do right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.
Uh.